Now we'll see some problems where they're mixed up. We don't know what kind of transformations we're going to be dealing with. For the first one here, our parent function is y equals x squared. So let's see what has changed from that. And once again, we're going to work from left to right. So the first thing we see here is the 4. With that 4 out in front, we know it's a vertical transformation. So it's either going up and down, or it's having a vertical stretch or vertical compression. Well, with multiplication, we know it's a stretch or compression. If our factor is 4, because remember when it's vertical, it stays the same. We think, okay, this is regular. We don't have to think opposite like we do it with horizontal. We know we have a vertical stretch by a factor of 4. Next thing we look at is our -5. Now this is inside, so I know it's horizontal. Well, when something's added or subtracted, we're going left or right, and we need to think opposite. So in this case, since this is negative and we want to think opposite, we're going to go right 5. Let's take a look at our next one. Here, our parent function will be y equals the absolute value of x. We want to see what changes from that. First off, I have my 1/2 out in front. We know that this is vertical because it's outside, so we have a vertical compression by a factor of 1/2. Next one we have is our -6. Well, if it's -6 inside the function, inside the absolute value, it's horizontal, and we're going right 6 because we have to think opposite of what we normally would when we're dealing with horizontal transformations. And lastly, we have this +3 here. If I'm adding 3 on the outside, I know that's vertical, so that means I'm going up 3. Here's a couple more examples. First one, we have a 3 on the inside of the function. We're multiplying by 3, so we know it's a stretch or compression. Well, with horizontal ones, we have to think opposite, so we know our factor is going to be 1/3, so it's going to be a horizontal compression by 1/3. And we have to think opposite, so we flip this one. Outside, we have a +4. We know that's vertical, so we know that it's going up 4. And again, you really want to pause these videos and play them when you want to see the explanation and see if you got it right. This one here is a little bit different. So we have something that we haven't seen before. This negative out in front is actually taken care of by itself, and then we'll take care of the 4. With the negative out in front, that is a reflection. Now, when it's outside, it's vertical. So let's think about this for a second. If we have a vertical transformation, would I be going from something like this to this? So I'd be moving like this way. Or would I be going from side to side? So something like this to this. So we're going from one to the other. Well, my vertical movement, my up and down movement, would be this one here. I'm moving up and down. So what I'm going to have is I'm going to have a reflection over this axis here, which is my x-axis. So that negative out in front has this reflect over the x-axis. Excellent. Next, we have to deal with our 4. So that 4 here is a vertical stretch. Remember, it's greater than 1. It's a vertical stretch by a factor of 4. Next, we have the 5 inside the square root. If we have a 5 inside the square root, we need to be moving left because we have to think opposite. Left 5. And then lastly, we have the 8 here. -8 on the outside. If I'm subtracting 8 on the outside, that's vertical, so I'm going down 8. So we have a reflection over the x-axis, a vertical stretch by 4. We're going left 5, and we got to think opposite inside, and we're going down by 8. Let's talk about that reflecting over the x-axis one more time, because reflections are a little bit weird. So since it's outside, I know that it's a vertical transformation of some kind. Well, these here up top are parabolas, but the concept is still the same when we're talking about reflections, although the graph would look different for a square root. But if I'm looking at this green one here, when I reflect over the x-axis, which is this horizontal axis here, when I reflect over the x-axis, it's actually doing a vertical movement. See how my laser pointer is moving up and down. When I reflect over the y-axis with these red graphs, I'm going from left to right. That's a horizontal movement. So horizontal is reflecting over the y-axis. Vertical, I'm reflecting over the x-axis.